So we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 9, Text 22. Kim duskaraina kratubhi tapavrater dana dibhirva dvijaya na falguna nayatra narayana pada pankaja smriti pramusta tisayendriya ucchavat. Kim, what is the value? Duskere, very difficult to perform. No, our kartubhi, with performance of sacrifice. Tapaha, with austerities. Bhaktei, vows. Dana adibihi, with executing charitable activities and so on. Bha, or Dvijayana, with achieving the heavenly kingdom. Falguna, which is insignificant. Na, no. Yatra, where? Narayana Padapankaja, of the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. Smriti, the remembrance. Pramusta, lost. Atisaya, excessive. Indriya Uchchavad, due to material sense gratification. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The demigods continue after performing the very difficult task of executing Vedic ritualistic sacrifice, undergoing austerity, observing vows, giving charity. We have achieved this position as inhabitant of heavenly planets. But what is the value of this achievement? Here we are certainly very engaged in material sense gratification, and therefore we can hardly remember the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. Indeed, because of our excessive sense gratification, we have almost forgotten his lotus feet. So we'll go directly purport with time. Purport: the land of Bhārata-varṣa is so exalted that by taking birth there one cannot only attain the heavenly planet but also go directly back to home, back to Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9:25, Janti deva vrata devan pritim janti pritivrataha bhutani janti bhutejya janti majjajino piyama. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghost and spirit will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestor go to ancestor. Those who worship me will live with me. People in the land of Bhārata-varṣa generally follow the Vedic principles and consequently perform great sacrifices by which they can be elevated to the heavenly planets. However, what is the use of such attainment, great attainment? As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:21, Khine punya marte lokam visanti. After the results of one's sacrifice, charity, other pious activities expire, one must return to the lower planetary system, again feel the pangs of birth and death. However, one who becomes Krishna consciousness can go back to Krishna. Yanti madhajaji no pimam. Bhagavad Gita 9:25. Therefore, the demigods even regret having been elevated to the higher planetary system. The denizen of the heavenly planet regret that they could not take full advantages of being born in the land of Bhārata-varṣa. Instead, they became captivated by the highest standard of sense gratification. Therefore, they forgot the lotus feet of Lord Narayana at the time of death. The conclusion is that one who has taken birth in the land of Bhārata-varṣa must follow the instruction given personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yad gatva na nirvartante tad dhama paramam mama. Bhagavad Gita 15:6. One should try to return home back to Godhead, to the Vaikuntha planet, or to the topmost Vaikuntha planet, Golok Vrindavan, to live eternally in full blissful knowledge, in the company of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Amajnana timirandasya jnana anjana salakaya chakshur nimiletan jaina tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. He Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavancha Tirupam Sagrajatam Sakana Sri Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadupam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Radha Krishna Padam Savanaritam Sri Visakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate गोपेश्वर गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिनी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for attending Srimad Bhagavatam class. As last class we learned that how the Bhārata-varṣa was one under one flag. Entire Bhārata-varṣa one flag. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita also Sanjay is saying that Prithvi, what is that? Prithvi in chapter 1 only. He says, Prithvi, you are the king of whole world. And Sanjay is addressing Dhritarashtra. Very, very fast chapter, Prithvi. But that Prithvi Pate. So he is the king of all. So entire whole world under the one flag, Bhārata-varṣa, it is called Bharata. Previously under the name of Maharaj Bharat. So previously it is Bhārata-varṣa. Just like Pakistan and India together it's India actually. Then it divided. Prabhupada says. Similarly, it is slowly in a modern context, it has been divided into small parts. Now only the India is called as Bhārata-varṣa. So here saying that demigods is regretting that how is how our position is not good than the people denizen of Bhārata-varṣa. One point last time Tattva pointed that two way you will not be do the sincerity. One, if you are excessive sense gratification, that is impeding our spiritual growth. When you have excessive problems, misery, then you won't be also, that also impedes spiritual growth. So therefore Prabhupada says that you American, you do not have any economic embarrassment, economic problem, so you should take it seriously. But due to excessive sense gratification, they fall out. So that is the thing. So here it is saying that this demigods, they're doing a lot of things, Vedic austerity, undergoing austerity, observing how they achieve this exalted position, the towering position, become promoted to heavenly planet. But this heavenly planet is not the highest, it's not like peak, and not the apex. So it has to be, you have to fall down also. Kinevunya visati visanti lokum. So therefore, this position is also very transient. The promotion is also transient. So therefore, they regret, because although they have got, because India, if you, there is a beautiful verse, there's this India, if you take bath in Bhārata-varṣa, the things are very conducive. In later part, it is say that later verses, this conducive, India is very conducive. He says that Prapta, Bhārata-varṣa offers the proper land and circumstances in which to execute devotional service. That means it offers a very conducive and congenial atmosphere, ambience to execute devotional service, which can free one from result of jnana and karma. If one obtain human body in the land of Bhārata-varṣa with clear sensory organ, which is to execute Sankirtan Yajna, but in spite of this opportunity, he does not take to devotional service, is certainly like liberated forest animal, birds that are careless are therefore again bound by a hunter. See, this actually, this is the regret. So you have got these advantages, but we do not take leverage of that advantages. That means we are very unfortunate, very unfortunate. That is our position. So, so you say that after so much evolution process, so we got this human body, and after human body also there are civilized, uncivilized. So there's a beautifully categorized here that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting a solitary place in the room, the Deccan Brahman Rupa Goswami is 145. So in these verses it say that after this taking birth in Manushya form, how there's elevations, He say that the unlimited living entities can be divided into two divisions that can be moved. There are 8 billion species of life, and that can be divided into two categories, bifurcated. One is moving, another is cannot move. Among the living entities that can move, there are birds, aquatics, animals. So then how the category has been given that out of that, although the living entity known as human being are very small in quantity. Small in quantity means 400,000. That is 5% of total 8.4 million species. You see mathematics, 5% come, only 5%. Although the living entity known as human being are very small in quantity, that division may be still further subdivided, for there are many uncultured human beings like mlechas, pulindas, bahudas, savaras. So there are uncivilized and civilized. What is called uncivilized, civilized, that is also given. So here it is said that Vedanishta madhye adheka Veda mukhya mane, Veda nisiddha papa kare dharma nahi gane. This is what India position at present. So here, among human beings, those who are followers of Vedic principle are considered civilized. Among these, almost half simply give up lip service while committing all kind of sinful activity against this principle. Such people do not care for regulative principle. Just like Durga Puja and all the things they are same lip service. Go with so much dress is very effulgent, nicely, you see, very nicely. But for the sake of just Vedic ritualistic, whole idea is sense gratification. In the pretext of performing Vedic rituals, they want a social gathering, chit chatting, festival. What is that? Indriya Utsavat. The verse today, it is that Indriya Utsavat. Utsav means festival of Indriya. These are called not festival actually, festival of Indriya, Indriya Utsava. They become all these Vedic rituals now degenerated into this Indriya Utsava. So this is what now going on. So this is very regrettable, deep concern, people. And after this, he is categorized. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, कर्मचारी मध्ये बहुत कर्मनिष्ठा कोटि कर्मनिष्ठा मध्ये एक ज्ञानी श्रेष्ठ. So in this way categorize that among the follower of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of fruitive activity. Those who are following really their fruitive activity, distinguish between good and bad work. Out of many such sincere fruitive actors, there may be one who is actually wise. That means a jnani is very rare. Out of jnani also, there are people very out of that category. Koti jnani madhye hoye ek jana mukta. Out of many jnani, one can be liberated. Koti mukta madhye dullabha ek Krishna bhakta. Out of many millions of such wise men, one may actually become liberated, mukta. Out of many millions of such liberated person, a pure devotee of the Lord Krishna is very difficult. So how it is categorized, like, how categorized. So the demigods are very pious, doing all the pious activity they have gone. But that will not help us to attain the, although it's an advantageous position, but they do not take the advantageous position, then that is a regretful situation. That is stated in, I think, 6th chapter by Chitraketu. It is said that लब्धेह मानुष्यम जोनिम ज्ञान विज्ञान संभवाम आत्मनः जो ना बुद्धयते ना कश्चित् क्षमम अपनुयात्. A human being can attain perfection in life by self-realization through Vedic literature and its practical application. This is possible especially for human being born in India. See how India has a very, very conducive and land of piety, the land of piety. India called Punya, what is that? Punya Bhumi, land of piety. A man who obtained the birth in such a convenient position but does not understand his self is unable to achieve the highest perfection. Even he is exalted to life of a higher planetary system. Exactly. They have in Bhārata-varṣa, they have taken birth and they have done the highest perfection. Even he is exalted to life of a higher planetary system. So by pious activity, they have promoted to highest planetary system. As Krishna says, Anti Deva Deva Bratan. So they come to the highest perfection by the pious activity. Still, they are missing the point. They are missing the point, unable to achieve highest perfection because excessive sense gratification. So deluxe edition of sense gratification. And there deluxe room, hotel and all, we are booking Dham Jatra, deluxe bedroom, like now. So they are very deluxe sense gratification, and that is very impediment. They are stumbling blocks for our spiritual enrichment and elevation. So because see, India is very, the pilgrimage places also. Why India called Punya Bhumi? There are, Lord has appeared in the land of Bhārata-varṣa, and he enacted so many pastimes. This is also stated, Prabhupada's spoken, why India is called land of piety. That is in purport. Prabhupada say that that in the land of Bhārata-varṣa, one can very easily perform Sankirtana Yajna, which is consisting of Sarvanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Or one can perform other method of devotional service such as Smaranam, Bandhanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedam. In Bhārata-varṣa, one has the opportunity to visit many holy places, especially Lord Chaitanya Barside, Lord Krishna Barside, Navadip and Vrindavan, where there are many pure devotees who have no desire other than to execute devotional service, Nabhilashitta Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anarbitam, and one may thus become free from the bondage of material condition. So Prabhupada saying why? Because there are many places where Navadip and all the pure devotees are there. So therefore it is said that one should not stay in a place where there is no pure devotees there. This previous verses it is said that Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudapaga Nachadava Bhagavatasta Asraya Nayatra Jagyasa Makamochava Suresha Loko. Suresha means heavenly planet. Suresha Loko Navaisa Sevayatam. He says that an intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even in the topmost planetary system, if the pure Ganges of topics concerning the Supreme Lord activity does not flow there. If there are non devotee engaged in service on the bank of such river of piety, or if there are no festival of Sankirtan Yajna to satisfy the Lord, especially since Sankirtan Yajna is recommended in this. So India is already found. Only India it is found. Therefore, so one should take the advantages. If you do not take the advantages, then it is a colossal loss. It is a colossal loss. So it is stated why it is colossal loss, because you cannot. You say that once you heavenly planet also, you can fall down. You can come down. When the result of their pious activity are exhausted, they fall down by the higher arrangement. Again come back to this planet, just as any person raised to a higher position, sometimes all of a sudden falls. That is how heavenly planet, after you exhausted, you perform lot of pious activities, you promote it to heavenly planet, then again fall down. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita also, 9:21. So how this, by performing all the activities, see, Tetam bhuktva sargolokam vishalam khine punyam artelokam visanti evam trai dharmam anupraprana gata gatam kama kama labhante. So here Sri Krishna says, when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, the result of their past activity are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to principle of three Veda active only repeated birth and death. Therefore Krishna says, Ahami sarvajagyanam, I am the only beneficiary of all sacrifice. Otherwise you will fall down. You fall down. This is Abhidhi Purvakam. Abhidhi Purvakam means people, they do all the thing, pious activity to promote to heavenly planet, is like a not proper way. It's like holding the nose in this way. So what is the use of Abhidhi Purvakam? Therefore Krishna says they will fall down actually. So they cannot achieve. Ahami sarvajagyanam bhokta cha prabhurevacha natu mam abhijananti tattena chavanti. I am only the enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. So that is the thing happening, that this is not a perfectional stage. It will fall down. Therefore, they regret. They regret that even though achieving such a highest position, then they fall down. They are prone to fall down. And also in heavenly planets, there is always a problematic. People say that, oh, Sargo, we will go to Sargo. So he says that the material happiness which we hear, such as promotion to heavenly planet for celestial enjoyment, is just like that material happiness we have already experienced. Both are polluted by jealousy, envy, decay, and death. Therefore, just as an attempt to raise the crops become fruitless if there are many problems like crop disease, insect plague, drought, similarly, the attempt to attain material happiness either on the earth or on the heavenly planet is always fruitless because of innumerable obstacles. So that is the thing. Because sense gratification, they are telling you so much excessive sense gratification. Either in Bhārata-varṣa, although it is very circumstantially conducive, congenial, but if somebody engage in the sense gratification, that is fruitless. Either in heavenly planets. Heavenly planets more, it offers a more excessive deluxe edition of sense enjoyment. So it's a very, very nice analogy, just like a crops. But crops disease is there. There are infect, plague, drought, all the things. So therefore, so-called attempt to attain the material happiness, either of the earth or heavenly planet, this is useless. This is all fruitless. You cannot achieve the highest perfection. The next verse also it is stated that if one perform Vedic sacrifice, fruitive rituals without any mystic or contamination, one will achieve a heavenly situation in the next life. But even this result, which is only achieved by perfect performance of fruitive rituals, will be vanquished by time. It will be vanquished by time. It's a temporary. So try to understand all these things. It's a temporary. It will not give you the perfection, highest perfection. And next verse also it continue. If on the earth one performs sacrifice for satisfaction of demigods, he goes to heavenly planet, where just like a demigod, he enjoy all the heavenly pleasures he is earned by his performance. And again it will be lost. Having achieved the heavenly planet, the performer of ritualistic sacrifice travel into a glowing airplane, and which he obtained as a result of his piety on the earth. Being glorified by songs and song of Gandharva and dressed in wonderfully charming clothes, he enjoys life surrounded by heavenly goddess. These are how he enjoys. How he enjoys the Apsaras, Gandharva and all, singing going on, dancing going on, all the things. Accompanied by heavenly woman, the enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice goes on pleasure rides on a wonderful airplane, which is decorated with circles of twinkling bells, which flies wherever he desires. Being relaxed, comfortable, happy in the heavenly planet pleasure gardens, he does not consider that he is exhausting the fruit of his piety. Will soon fall down to the mortal world. See, whole process is going on. How you promote, what you enjoy, how you fall down. Also, there is another verse he says that how you falling down also. This is spoken by Narada Muni. How you fall down, how do you become again human being? You will fall down, but how? What is the process? You are falling from heavenly planet. Om Bhū-Bhuvasya, Sargoloko. So this verses is he say that my dear King Yudhishthir, when Narada Muni spoke to Yudhishthir Maharaj, when oblation of ghee and food grains like barley and sesame are offered in sacrifice, they turn into celestial smoke, which carries one to successively higher planetary system like kingdom of Bhuma, Ratri, Krishna Paksha, Dakshinam, ultimately the moon. See, when you sacrifice all the things that transport, that's a very important point. Then, however, the performer of sacrifice descend again to the earth to become herbs, creepers, vegetables, food grains. They are eaten by different living entity, torn into semen, which is injected into female body. Thus one takes bath again and again. Then again they fall down. The process of falling down, how they take bath as a herbs, everything, and this is eaten by living entity. Then see the whole process is there. So this process and all is not actually the real things, because our real goal of life to go back to Godhead, where you do not have to return, because as long as you are returning, as long as we have this material body, this is not good. There is always an inevitable inconvenience of janma murtyu jara vyadhi dokho dosanu darsana. Therefore we are all. So I was telling yesterday, I was saying that how the what is that called the Olympic player Usain Bolt, 8 times medalist, he cannot even now climb the staircase. Yes, he feel breathless because this is what, yeah. So this is how the things, So this is the thing. So you should one should understand the real nature of the Maya. As long as we are in the material body, there is inevitable inconvenience. Even after you are successful, The verse is there. I quoted this in that article, this verse. That even one is successful, he is also prone to this disease, old age, birth. Materialistic activities are always mixed with three kinds of measurable conditions: adhyatmic, adidoivik, adibhautik. Therefore, even if one achieves some success by performing such activity, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subject to the birth, death, old age, disease, and reaction of his fruitive activity. See, so-called success going to heavenly planets coming down is like a roller coaster ride. Roller coaster ride. That roller coaster ride will not help, because again you want to coming up, coming down. Sometimes Swarga, that is very nicely stated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami. 20:18, I think. See, there's a very nice verse. Yeah. Kobu Swargo Uthaya, Kobu Naraka Dubaya, Dande Jane Raja Jena Nandite Chubaya. In the material condition, the living entity sometimes raised to higher planetary system and material prosperity, and sometimes drown into hellish situation. His state is exactly like that of a criminal whom a king punishes by submerging him in water, then rising him again from water. So this is exactly going up and down, roller coaster. That sometimes those days the criminal, how they punish, submerge their head. When they feel suffocated, raise him, and he feeling is relaxed. Relax. What is that called? Dukkha pratikara sukha manyate. To counteract, like just like air condition. We feel very hot. We buy fan and air condition. We are thinking that I am happy. Counteracting. That verse is there also, 339. Counteracting the, what is that? 339. What is that verse? Is say that Kurban dukkha pratikaram sukham manyate grihi. So simply counteracting your distress is not happiness. Happiness, you cannot get happiness by indriya. Prabhupada always quoted sukham aitantika. Sukham aitantika. What is that? Atendriyam. Indriya atendriyam, not indriyam. Sukham aitantika. That is 621. Sukham aitendrika atendriyam. Prabhupada always quoted. What is that real happiness? You should change the vocabulary of real happiness. It is say that sukham atentika yattat buddhi graham atendriyam. The sense gratification is all this sukha is not actually real sukha. Atentika sukha, this is real sukha we should get. So in this way, although we goes all the things, so this problem is this yes, in material world, that is the problem, inconvenience. So-called going up and down is not a thing. That is roller coaster ride. Verse Prabhu used to quote that while a roller coaster ride. The real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This is the same thing, going to heavenly planet, coming down, going up and down. This wheel, however, completely stops when one is taught to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from the constant engagement in devotional service, completely liberated from the material existence. So that is the thing, that this is a roller coaster ride. People do not know roller coaster. Therefore, the demigods is regretting that this kind of roller coaster life will not give us a chance to go back to Godhead, which is the ultimate goal of life. The so-called roller coaster life is not good, because Abrahma Bhuvanala Loka Punaravartina Arjuna. So this is not our real home. That is stated also. This verse is not real home. What is that? 429, 54. Oh, sorry, 28, 54. The beautiful verses. Which is our original real home? My dear gentle friend, both you and I are exactly like two swans. We live together in the same heart, which is just like a Manas lake. Although we have been living together for many thousands of years, we are still far away from original home. So our original home is not here. Therefore, Krishna say, Paratasmastu anya vakta sanatana. Yad gatva na nivartate tad dhamam paramam mama. So all these things Krishna is giving a hint of spiritual existence, spiritual abode. So this is not our original home. So we are searching something. So therefore whole idea is to go back to original home. So as long as we are here, as long as we are sorry, as long as we are the inconvenience body, as long as we are in material world, there is always a inconvenience of birth, death, disease, old age. We cannot, repetition of birth we cannot avoid. Therefore body means birth, old age, disease. Why means, what is why? Yamraj, death. Body means birth. Birth is very painful. See, if this you explain this body birth, there is a verses are there. Birth is 331. See, sometimes back I was explaining. Body means birth, old age, disease. Birth is painful, 331, 17 or 16. Fall into pool of blood, stool, urine with abdomen of his mother. His own body is caused by the mother's gastric fire. Embodied soul, anxious to get out, counts his month and prays, "Oh my Lord, when shall I, a wretched soul, be released from the confinement?" That is called body be birth. How the birth is painful. We are to explaining this whole body is painful. This birth is so painful. Klesa dasasya deha. What is that klesa? These are the klesa. Then birth, B-O, birth, old age. Old age also is there. Old age is there, is explained here. Old age is explained in these verses. See, the foolish family man does not become averse to family life, although he is maintained by those whom he once maintained. Deformed by influence of old age, he prepares himself to meet ultimate death. So how the old age is not good. In the old age, people are usually procrastinators. Read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Nobody reading, procrastination is thief of time. They are thinking that I am not in the proper age, old age. Here, old age, you cannot do anything. It is stated here that that thus he remains at home just like a pet dog and eats whatever is so negligently given to him. Afflicted with many illness such as dyspepsia, loss of appetite, he eats only very small morsel. He becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore. That is the old age. The problem with old age painful. Birth is painful, old age. D means disease. So disease also painful. So it is stated that next verse how the disease is problematic. In that disease condition, one's eyes bulge due to pressure of air from within. His glands become congested with mucus. He has difficult breathing upon exhaling, inhaling. He produces a sound like gura, gura, a rattling within the throat. That is what Kulasekara praying. So this is birth, old age, disease. Then finally called Yamraj. Why? Yamraj means death. So death, you know how death is painful. O elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe, unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of living entity who has accepted the material body. Don't you know about this pain? So all the body all painful. So therefore, we are advised to not to unnecessary go up and down, to take the shelter of the Lord and go back to Godhead. That is whole idea. Smriti, today is called Smriti Narayana Pada Pankajam. To remembering Krishna, get out from this one. That is the solution, nothing else. Ante Narayana Smriti. So that is also given very nicely. Avasriti Krishna Padaravinda Kinoti Avadrani Tasamsanati Chasamsanati. Suchatasya suddhim paramatma bhaktim jnana cha vijnana viraga yuktam avasmriti. Today also smriti. The solution today given by demigods, smriti narayana pada pankada. You want to get out from this roller coaster life, going to higher planetary system, coming down. One has to remember the Krishna lotus feet. Narayana pada pankada. Narayana pada pankada. Lotus feet of the Lord. So we should remember the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the only thing. Kinoti abhadrani. Abhadrani means all infection. Nasta prayasu abhadresu. What is that abhadra means? Abhadra means modes of material nature. More infection. All three are infection. Even mode of goodness also infection. Mode of passion also infection. Mode of it. Therefore it is a nasta prayasu. Prayasu means the passion and ignorance. Goodness will be there. That is also infection. That also we have to transcend again by hearing Bhagavatam. Therefore, Bhagavatam is very important. Unless we get out from the modes of material nature, one cannot get out. One cannot achieve the perfection. Satyasya suddhim. That satyasya means disinfected yourself. Satyasya suddhim paramatma bhaktim. So only how to get parama bhakti without suddhi. Antagatam, what is that? 728. Antagatam papam. Jananam punya karmanam. Tedanda mohanirmuktam. Namam dushkitanamuda. So these are the things that therefore satyasya suddhim is important. Therefore, we recommend Sinnatam Sakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtan. Udantastani Abhadrani. So that is the thing. Jnanam cha vijnana viraga yuktam. Jnana vijnana. First of all, first jnana, then vijnana, practical application, viraga yuktam. Detachment. Without that you cannot. Therefore, jnana is very important. You don't read how you understand, how you know all the things. See, all the 7 chapters, Bhakti Yoga, but Krishna start with knowledge of absolute truth. You know my opulence, then you will depend. Prabhupada say, wider the understanding. If you know some person is rich, but how much rich, then your appreciation will be just like Arjuna. When he knows Krishna's, this all the form, this universal form, immediately he was defending himself. He was going back foot, playing back foot. Oh my Lord, please, sorry, I say you friend and all. Beautiful verses, 11 canto. So therefore we should know Krishna. Wider the understanding, deeper the attachment. Maya sakta manapartha, yogam injun madasra, samasrayam asamsayam samagram yat na gyasasitasrunu. You hear about knowledge of absolute truth. And same thing in 10th chapter also he told that opulence of absolute. Even in 8th chapter, sorry, 9th chapter, he has spoken about confidential knowledge. In the beginning, he spoken about his opulence. So this understanding is very important. Without understanding, how can I love him? How can I know his confidential pastime? Therefore, in Bhagavatam, the all 9 canto is a preparatory course. Asrita Tattva, to prepare you to understand the Asraya Tattva. 10th canto, Krishna. So therefore, is Satyasya Suddhim Paramatma Jnanam cha Vijnana Viraga Yuktam. Jnana Vijnana is very important. These are beautiful verses. Even a fraction of Jnana is very important. He says that 11, 19, 4. What is that fraction of? Yes. That perfection which is produced by a small fraction of spiritual knowledge cannot be duplicated by performing austerity, visiting holy places, chanting silent prayer, giving charity, or engaging in other pious activities. So-called going to holy places without understanding anything, this is cannot achieve. Fraction even. How important is fraction of spiritual knowledge. So therefore, one should understand this, all the things, that how by so-called going to up and down will help, but seriously engage in devotional service will be helping us. See, therefore, the recommended process, Krishna say, my dear Uddhava, through knowledge you should understand your actual self. Then advancing by clear realization of Vedic knowledge, you should worship me in the mood of loving devotion. Then otherwise it's a religious sentiment. Without knowledge, there no jnana, then vijnana, no viraga. No, you cannot get everything. Jnana, viraga, all the things. We cannot coming to loving vijnana. So finally, Krishna say, it's not that many sages also come by this process. Krishna say, jnana vijnana jagyenena mam istavatmanam atmani sarvajagya patita mam vai samsiddhi munaya gaman. So just like 410 in Bhagavad Gita, he told many of them have come to me. Here also Krishna say, formally great stage through the sacrifice of Vedic knowledge, spiritual enlightenment, worship me within themselves, knowing me to the Supreme Lord of all sacrifice and super soul in everyone earth. Thus coming to me, these sages achieve the supreme perfection. 410 also he is exactly same thing. Krishna say, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. Is giving example. History also many of them come. So it's not like that something I am telling some statement, concocted one. No, history also is proving history. So therefore, one should achieve for that perfection to going back to Godhead. The last verses we will see that how whole idea to go back to Godhead. There's a beautiful verses spoken by the Lord to Gopis. Mair bhaktiri bhutanam amritayeva kalpate. So here Krishna say, rendering devotional service to me qualifies any living being for eternal life. So that is the highest perfect. By your good fortune, you have developed a special loving attitude towards me, by which we have obtained. So amriteva kalpate, you want to eternal life, you have to have this bhakti. And bhakti is not a sentiment, a religious sentiment. Tat tat karma pravatanat. You bhakti means the jnana vairagya. Vasudeva bhagavate. Bhakti yoga. So the jnana vairagya should be there. So here it is said that by bhakti one can qualify. There is nothing beyond that. Only by bhakti one can get the eternal life, go back to Yadgata Nanibhantate. This is the highest point. Somewhere we have read one verse. What is that verse? 5:19:8 something. Here it is said that by bhakti only, same thing. 5:19 or no, I forget. Only by bhakti. Anyway, no, the 5, somewhere in 5, only by executing bhakti we can go. Other verses are there, but this verse particular Prabhu found out. That's therefore I was. Anyway, it is said that only by bhakti the highest, there is nothing beyond this. Bhakti labdhat sadhavaki manyad avishyasate. Then nothing remains. What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto me, Supreme Absolute Truth, whose quality are innumerable, who has the embodiment of ecstatic aspect. So that is the highest, there is nothing beyond. And this is only for process, Krishna say, bhakti. So even Narada Muni say that bhakti, when he spoke about this, why you should compile Srimad Bhagavatam, because he told 1.5.12, 1.5.22, that without bhakti, everything is useless. Narada Muni immediately quoted 1.5.10, 11 and 1.5.12. He quoted very nicely that Naiskramyam api achutya bhava varjitam na sovata jnanam malam niranjanam kuta punna saswat abhadram ishwarena charpitam karma yadapi akaranam. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of conception of infallible God. What is the use of fruitive activities and other things? Painful. Therefore, one should come to the platform of going back to Godhead by the process of bhakti. That is the highest achievement. Highest achievement. So therefore, we end with the last verse. Learned circle have positively concluded that infallible purpose of advancement of knowledge, namely austerity, study of Vedas, sacrifice, chanting, hymn, charity, culminate in transcendental description of the Lord, who is defined by choice. So this is the thing. So one has to come to the point of bhakti to go back to Godhead. So go back to Godhead is the highest. This is our purpose of life. Purpose of life to go back to Godhead. So that therefore these demigods are regretting that why we are going to heavenly planets again. We have to come down. We cannot achieve the highest perfection. Highest perfection is to go back to Godhead. Okay. Go back to Godhead also sometimes Srila Prabhupada say love of Godhead. Actually Prabhupada meant go back to Godhead also love of Godhead. So the human form of life affords one to chance return home back to Godhead. See 762. That is our purpose. Therefore, every living entity, especially human form of life, must engage in devotional service of the lotus feet of Vishnu. And this devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu is the supreme personality of God and most beloved master of the soul, the well-wisher of all living entities. It's a natural because we have a natural affinity for the Lord. Krishna Prema. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhu. So this is the thing. So that is our aim of life, to return home back to. So love of Godhead also is the same, back to Godhead. 785 we say that Pancha Purushartha. That is same thing actually. Pancha Purushartha also, this love of Prema Pumartha Mahan. Purushartha Premananda Atma Sindhu Mokhyadi Ananda Yare Nahe Eka Bindu. Sorry, next verse I think. But a devotee who has actually developed bhava. Sorry. I think next verse. Religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, liberation are known as 4 goals of life. But before love of God at the 5th and highest goal, this appears as insignificant straw in the street. The highest goal is to love of Godhead or go back to Godhead. Krishna Prabhupada say go back to Godhead. Actually, the Godhead is coined by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. Then Prabhupada carry forward his Guru's word. Godhead. I have read the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati some article. He used this back to Godhead. Where your well-wisher, Prabhupada right now, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So this is the thing. So the highest goal is like this. So unnecessary by going roller coaster life, going to up and down, it has no value. So the devotee should never aspire for all these things. Should aspire for going back to Godhead by directly doing devotional service. So therefore, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu is very important. So one should learn this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam regularly. One should not attend the class, Prabhupada say, for the sake of attend the class, official routine. That is good, but you will not advance. You should learn something from there. Unless you cannot advance. After 20 years also you will sitting like this. So therefore one should learn every time you should learn something. Fraction of knowledge also will help. This slokos was very, very important, Prabhupada said, because this will guide us for deviating, drifting. Immediately you remember this sloka, oh, this is not good. These are encapsulating all the philosophy. And the best way to remember is to revise this. Repetition is the mother of learning for a temporary memory. Supposing I want to know this sloka, I repeat it, I remember, but memory. Revise is main thing. Revise will give you long-term memory. You have to revise. There's a very nice, what is called Evinborg forgetting curve. He is writing very nicely. He has very scientific research how forgetting curve. 1 hour, how much you assimilate or retain. In this way, how you are decaying your retention. So therefore, revision is very important. Prabhu was asking how to remember this, all the things. Revision. Master revision. That is most important thing then. Otherwise, you forget. Even after you remember, you go through 1 time, 2 times. That is very important. Therefore, Prabhupada says that you always revise. Go through 100 times also. Surprisingly, yesterday I was reading what is the favorite book of Bhaktisiddhanta. He told Chaitanya Bhagavat. Not Chaitanya, because common people Chaitanya Bhagavat and Prema Chandrika. Then he told about Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Then Narahari Sarkar, there is a bhajana, something. And 4th one he told about Dasamula Sikkha. Yesterday I have given the 10 Dasamula. What is the teaching of Gaudiya Vaishnava? The 10 roots understanding of Chaitanya. Yeah, Rasamula. First he is telling that Pramana. The Vedic literature is Pramana. How, without Pramana, how you other 9 cannot be established? Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He told. That is very nice. And how he did this 10 items, because there is a person called Srinath Thakur, which is the guru of Manjusa, Chaitanya Manjusa, where we are reading that one, Aradhya Bhagavan. So he has written the 5 things. And another person called Narahari, Vyasatirtha, from yes, he has written something. Madhvacharya also written. Bhakti, Baladev Vidyabhushan also written 5 things, 5 teachings. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur took everybody and put it that Dasamula Sikha, Dasamula Tattva. That is very nice. 10 things, important thing. He start with first Vedic literature should be received through disciplic succession. This is the Praman. In this way, the 10, when one verse is explained and also elaborate. So we should read, always study, so that we can, that will help us advance in Krishna consciousness. Oh, thank you very much. Any question, anything? Gantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Guru Hari Bol, Jai Srila Prabhupada. हाँ. Yeah. No, Prabhupada say even anybody has a tinge of material attachment, one can go back to it. One cannot go. One has to be free from all contact. Anya vilasita sunya. Anything, anya vilasa, any kind of avilasa other than Krishna. The 2 kind of desire, disease desire, the self sense gratification. One is perfected desire for Krishna. We do not say don't desire nonsense, desire Krishna. Prabhupada's word, exact word. So the perfected. Perfect desire means everything should be done for the Krishna. Don't tell everything for Krishna consciousness. Even in this verse, you mukta also. That is 5:11 purport, that verse is there.
But after coming to bhakti, when Krishna will give that kind of chance, of course, he is showing the special message as told in something like that. But when actually these things happen, what should be come out in the
Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nirviti. Anartha Nirviti is infection, 3 modes. Then Nishta fixed up by Bhagavatam reading, nice sticky. Nishta platform, fixed up platform. And fixed up means you are not infected. Tada Rajatama Bhav, fixed rate. When you are Nishta, then you get the Ruchi, taste. Asakta.
once we come to bhakti, we will hopefully give the and then how he exactly creates that process from us that we get to go.
Bhakti Paresanubhava Virakti. When bhakti will come, automatically Virakti will come. Detach will come. Yeah. Why I don't understand your point.
Always first step should be from our side. Is it or forcefully Krishna?
As you surrender, Krishna will taking out all the things slowly. You are all the proportional. No, more you advance in bhakti, the more the detachment will come. Automatically detachment will come. Bhakti Paresanubhava Virakti Rana. That is the taste Prabhupada says. Bhakti means you say, I am bhakti, I am doing bhakti, I am devotee, putting tilak, white kurta, bordered kurta and all, silk sarees, cotton saree. It will not help actually. Main thing is that how much you have got the knowledge and detachment. That is the taste. The song is there, Gaur Milena, Gaur Milena. This is the same thing. So you cannot, like, you have to have a substance. It should not be external, external is not, it should be real something, substance. External is simply external will not help, It should be substance. So you should see that I am really detached or not. You don't have to litmus test, Prabhupada. You don't have to do certification. You should see that I am detesting. I am not interested in cinema, interested in social media. Then you have some that actually will come with Bhagavatam. You have to love something. You have to attach something. I hate this. Punna dushta bane. Otherwise, you cannot. You have really loving this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and to read and do all these things. Automatically, you will get detached. The purification have very, very automatical process. Sunnatan Sokata Krishna Punya Sarva. Krishna say, Hudantustani Avadrani. Very Punya, this hearing all the things. Automatically, all the infection will be Dhunati. Pravishta Kannarandrena. Dhunati. Amalam. All the Amalam, this all dirty thing, infection, modes of passion, ignorance. Because passion and ignorance, you are not so determined. You cannot come to Krishna with passion and ignorance. You have to go to airport to take up a flight, board a flight. You cannot in a house, you want that flight will come to on your roof. And no. You have to come to airport, mode of goodness. Then only you can take up the spirituality very. Evam prasanna manasa, Bhagavata Bhakti, prasanna manasa what? Mode of goodness symptoms. Then only you can understand the science of things. Then detachment will come. See, next 120, 120, all these 21, here all this, your knots will be slackened by the process. So whole process is going here, read here, discuss among devotee, then it will come. Everything will be coming. Whole the canto, chapter, everything, canto 1, you should have remember all the, even the topics also, many of them do not know the Bhagavad Gita topics also. Right? Bhagavad Gita topics also, which topics, what to speak about, knowing, understanding. Canto also, I was giving the subject matter, the canto, how, see, everything. So you should read it thoroughly, scrutinizing the Prabhupada one. Without scrutinizing, studying and discussing also. Prabhu is telling that I remember that some verses 6:17 where mind is going, well, 6:17 where mind? So immediately, because without discussion, he will not catch up. The discussion is there. With discussion among Prabhupada, among discussion, we can understand. Otherwise, first chapter also, a theme also many people don't know Bhagavad Gita. Basic verses. Which verses 114 Bhagavad Gita? According to theme also, the verses are there. Sign of victory, all the theme according to theme. Bewilderment, all the things, these are very, very important things to remember. Chapter 2 also. All the things you should understand, discuss, scrutinizing it. Superficial studying will never help you in advancement of Krishna. Superficial study. So thank
Student attains what the meaning of the Vedas by water by saying to Guru, water by enthusiasm, water by
yes. So this is very nice. Excellent. Yeah. So it's exactly by time in initial period, you remember we have no much access to all these things. By time we receive something. By practicing Guru, all the bhakti, Guru mercy is there. 25. 25 is enthusiasm, right? You have our own effort you have to put. You don't have our own effort. You don't do lazy. Then how you learn bhakti, all the things? You should not be lazy now. Then another one is there. What is that? Last one, 25%. Spiritual discussion is not there, means how? Spiritual discussion you do not know. You think that okay, I know this one, but you do not know much deep. You know yourself. You don't know discussion other person. So we learn from each other, na? Mostly from the seniors, like na? We learn from Prabhu, Tattva, all the things. Na? So this discussion is very, very important. 420 to 19 is there, say that the spiritual discussion is very, very important for us, for advance in Krishna consciousness. Vasudeva, Katha Prasna. So this discussion is very much important. So very nice. You should follow this process, that our effort, our all the things to learn it. Otherwise, you cannot learn. Very stagnated. Stagnated. Sometimes it is jeopardized. You know. Yeah. So simply you cannot, like, if a person with beard is called sadhu, then the all goats are saintly person. Because they have this. So you should hear from sadhu. You should hear realization. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srivam Bhagavatam.